You're just going to agree with me and just say, give me your proxy, right?
From my perspective, the city of Cary, until the city of Hailey proposed a countywide levy, the city of Cary really was not asked to step up to the plate. I thought initially that we were, because I kept seeing this letter with the city of Cary, we owed somewhere around $3,000, but then I realized that that's for the two emergency service taxing districts that provide service to the city of Cary. So until yesterday, I wasn't even going to come to this meeting. However, now that I realize that it does involve the city, my concern is how you get to the point where you're in a budget process. In fact, you've noticed your budget, getting ready to set it for the following fiscal year, and then there's an additional challenge or additional revenue source that's being sought that has significant importance, and there's no mechanism for the city to ask the residents and the constituents that we represent how they feel about that that additional opportunity. Now, the $2,000 or $3,000, the two fire districts that I think are represented here, or the two emergency sponsoring districts, may have known about this prior to this and prepared for their budget, but had the request come to the city of Cary, I think we would have been a lot like the city of Hailey. We would have been astonished. In a larger picture, I remember the county coming down and talking about the E911 project, and I remember constituents from my community saying, "What's this going to cost us in the future, other than the buck?" And I clearly remember that the response was there would be no additional cost. And so, as the mayor, I'm at a loss how we got to the point where there was not an additional cost, and to where we are now. I don't read every paper, but I read enough of them. I think that if this would have been reported that the dispatch was going to cost an additional sum to the city of Hailey, an additional sum to the city of Bellevue, if the press would have picked that up, I think it would have read it. And so, as Mayor Cary, I'm concerned about the residents of my community having to pay for something that they didn't have much input into establishing. The other thing I'll say is that I quickly ran the figures, and I don't have a calculator because Tom told me to turn off my cell phone a few minutes ago, but looking at one of the earlier documents that was published, said that the city of Cary was responsible for 88 total dispatches, and that's reported to be 4% of the total. I believe if you divide 88 by $19,750, it's not even close to that percentage. And so if the amount of money that was going to be assessed to the two responding emergency sponsoring districts in Cary was based on percentage of call, even that amount of money was wrong. And so in my mind, there's a lot of questions that I think need to be answered before I can weigh in on this. And like the mayor of Sunbelt, I'm concerned that whatever is done is fair.